Hey everybody, it's Rhonda Ellis with Cultivating a Home. This is part 2 of the art of people skills. So if you're listening in, you probably are thinking you'd like some help, or maybe have a child who you would like to help with being able to engage better in conversations with others. Maybe just learn how to have better people skills. So in this session, part 2, I'd like to share with you some tips that I hope will do just that will help you with relating to other people and showing your interest in other people. So if you didn't listen to part 1, you do need to go back and listen to that. There's some good tips in there. But today I'm just going to start with the next little list that I have, and it's this. If you think something nice, say it. Teach your kids that. If you think, wow, she is so nice, then why not tell her, you are so friendly, you're very nice. Now, you would want to make it be truly representative of what you see, not fluff and just motivation of trying to be liked or to get inside some inner circle with people. But if you have a lifestyle that you every day where you just, when you hear something, when you see something nice in someone, just say it. That is great to keep us from being competitive with each other, and it's great to recognize the different skills and strengths that people have. Keeps us from being jealous of it because we recognize they're gifted at different things, different ways than we are. So feel free, be free with your compliments with people. Just make sure that they are genuine. So if you think something nice, say it. The next thing is, if you hear something nice about someone else, pass it on. So if I was to hear you say, the teacher taught such an amazing lesson today, and then I'd say, I'd encourage you, you should tell her that if you're my child. You should tell her that tomorrow when you go to class. But what I would do when I see the teacher next is I would say, Heather was telling me how much she enjoys learning from you and that you teach lessons very well. So I heard something nice and I pass it on. That's just a way of being kind to people and being free with compliments and expressing kind things to people. So if you think something nice, say it. If you hear something nice, pass it on. This could also be, the way that you teach your children. If they are talking amongst friends, and one of them says, so-and-so did a great job at cheerleading tryouts, then encourage them. You call her and tell her that she did a great job. Call her and tell her that Mary said that she did a great job at it. So just teach them to freely express kind things to people. Another way you could do this is if you get an email that is from someone and it has a compliment in it, you can ask permission of that person and say, would you be okay if I shared your compliment of Barbara with her, and get permission and just pass it on. Just have that kind of standard in your life where you just share kindness to others. If your kids are trying out for a musical and they did not get the part that they really wanted to get, well, we could all get in the car and gripe and complain and say that's not fair. You were so much better. They always pick the same people. They have their favorites. We could do all that kind of stuff, which is simply teaching our children to behave that way. Or we can say, you know what, they did a great job, or the director sees something in them that she thinks they would do a good job at that particular part in that program, in that musical. And so you teach your kids to, hey, let's call that person, or let's text that person or that person's mom, and let's tell them congratulations on it. So you're teaching your children how to deal with self-centered thoughts, or having a perspective in life where they think everybody's against them, or a martyr syndrome, or they are negative, or they complain about other people, or they compare themselves. By teaching them to recognize something good someone else has done, by complimenting them, cheering them on. I believe that is what the Bible it tells us to do, to encourage others. So that's what we should be teaching our kids to do, and that's what we should do, even if it's a friend that gets the car of our dreams that we'll never be able to get, and they maybe heard us talking about it and then they went out and bought it. So tell them, I love your car. That's awesome that you got that. Ask them for a ride in it and rejoice with them. Rejoice with those who are rejoicing, and mourn when those are mourning. So it's just ways to get over ourselves and be about other people. Another thing we want to be careful of is not to praise ourselves. This is for us. This is when we're teaching our children. We should notice this kind of behavior and help them to not brag on themselves. The Bible says, let another man praise you and not yourself. And you know what? If we have a pattern of always one-upping people and bragging on ourselves and trying to interject into the conversation our own strengths and ways that we should be praised, what we're going to find is that people don't enjoy being with us because we always talk about ourselves, or the attention always has to turn back on ourselves. Even if they don't know how to pinpoint what it is, that irritates people. Before you know it, we don't have very many people that like to spend time with us because we're always talking about ourselves. So let another man praise you and not yourselves. People do migrate away from those who always talk about themselves. Another thing, can you hear that helicopter? Is don't one up. That means don't be part of a conversation where we have to interject our thoughts and one up somebody, make sure our story, our event is better. Our baby was weighed more when they were born. It was longer when she was born. Our kids are smarter than your kids. The vacation we went on was a little bit better than your vacation. One-upping it sends people away. It's very irritating. Outdoing someone, saying something that ups on their own story really takes the attention away from the person who was talking. So the best thing to do is to learn to just be quiet and listen. Even if our story is better, we can add to the story. Sometimes it's appropriate to add to a story, but our motive needs to always be in check, that it is not for us to get attention from it. But if it's to add to the story, add to the event, then the motive is pure, and it would be fine to say, but it's best to err on the side of being quiet about our own story and engaging them in more about their vacation that they went on. And where'd you stay? And what were the people like in that area? You know, just questions that you would find interesting about their conversation and their story. So that's it for today. Just a couple quick tips on the art of people skills. I hope that you will apply these and you'll teach your children to apply these, because really the love of Christ that Christians should be displaying to others is showing interest to them, being about others, loving others well. Well, I'll see you next time for part 3. Bye.